Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to take you through 3 very simple but effective tips to level up your 1v1 dribbling. And just before we get into it, I want to say a huge thank you to Acuity Scheduling for sponsoring today's video. Acuity Scheduling is a flexible scheduling tool that allows you to manage all of your client bookings and communications. You can build your own customized page and your clients can go in, schedule, reschedule and cancel appointments if needed. And my favorite part about it is the downloadable app that allows you to manage all of that admin work on the go. So you can focus on the parts of your business that you love doing the most. And if you use my unique code, you can get 20% off your first subscription. So head over to the link in my description, check out Acuity Scheduling and see how you can use it to level up your business. But let's get right into the tips. So before we get into the first tip of 1v1 dribbling, we need to understand the purpose of getting past defenders with a dribble. And the whole purpose is to create space either to pass the ball, cross the ball, or get a strike on goal. So this should be a productive action that's going to put you in a better position to serve your teammates. So with that in mind, we're going to be using these 3 tips to create more space to either shoot, cross, or pass the ball. So the first tip for you is when you approach the defender is to make sure you go directly at your opponent. When we dribble directly at our opponent, we force them to engage with us. And by engaging the defender, you put them in a position that's easier to dribble past them. If we're just going straight into the space we want to get into eventually with the dribble, we're making the defender's life really easy. We're basically doing their job for them. So if we're trying to get to this right side of the defender to either get a cross or a shot on goal, if I immediately start dribbling into that space, all the defender has to do is cover this area. They don't even need to engage in a tackle. They just need to usher me into a non-threatening position. So by dribbling straight into the space, I do half of the defender's work for them. But instead, if we dribble directly at our opponent, so head on, that forces the defender to jockey, to get into a non-athletic position, to start guessing which side we're going to go, which leaves them very vulnerable when we then push the ball into that space. So first tip is make sure you dribble directly at your opponent. The second tip I have for you is to change your speed. There should be a deliberate change in pace from when you approach the defender to when you then push the ball into the space. If you're always going at the exact same speed, you become very predictable and easy to track. So if you imagine you're approaching a defender at 1 speed, and then you continue the exact same speed, all that defender has to do is mirror the exact pace you're going. If me and this defender were having a race over 5 meters, we're on the same line, but I get to choose when we go, I'm always going to have that advantage. Even if that defender's really quick, over a short distance, being able to go before them is going to give me enough time to get away. And this is the exact same concept we apply to 1v1 dribbling. If I'm going at my defender and I get to choose when we start our race, I'm always going to have that split-second advantage. And if I'm aggressive with my acceleration, I'm going to be able to get away from them. The additional advantage I have in a 1v1 is that typically the defender is facing away from the space I'm about to push the ball into. So not only do they have to react to my change of speed and try and mirror that, but they also usually have to change direction a whole 180 degrees before they can then start their acceleration. So if I'm sharp with my movement, I can really leave that defender vulnerable. So let's look at how we can approach the defender and change our speed. What I would recommend is keeping the ball close to your foot on the approach and then pushing it out of your feet upon the acceleration. To keep the ball close to our foot, we're going to use a nudging technique. So we're going to be making contact with the center of the ball using the area on top of the foot right beside the little toe. This allows us to angle our foot, take a soft touch of the ball to keep it close, but still get up to a decent speed while leaving room to accelerate. So it should look a little something like this. We're going to approach the defender, taking a touch of the ball with every step. So we're going to touch, touch, touch. As you can see, really close to my foot the entire time. What this allows is if that defender decides to lunge at any moment, the ball is close enough to my foot that I can react. We're giving ourselves the ability to change course at any moment. So if I'm dribbling, keeping it close, the defender lunges, I can shift that ball to the side. If the ball is too far out of my feet, so if I take a heavier touch, take a couple of steps, and the defender lunges, they might intercept that ball. So keeping the ball close to your foot during that engagement phase is really, really important. And then we should see a deliberate change of speed. So if we're approaching the defender at a 6 out of 10, when we push the ball out of our feet, that's where we get up to a 10, because we want to create that separation between you and the defender. So we take small touches at a quick pace when approaching the defender, then a long touch with a big acceleration after we push the ball past our opponent. So this is what it should look like. So we go slow and then push. And as you can see, as a defender, this becomes really difficult to anticipate. I'm trying to keep up with their pace, jockeying at a 6 out of 10 to mirror their movement. And if they quickly go to a 10 out of 10, it's hard for me to recover and make up that ground. So make sure there's a deliberate change of speed. So we've covered engaging our opponent by dribbling directly towards them, and we've covered changing our speed. And against some defenders, that can be all you need to get past them. If they're giving you that space and you know you've got a speed advantage over them, you can just push the ball beyond them and get away to either pass, cross, or strike the ball. But against a crafty defender who might even bait you into certain movements and then anticipate, you need to be a bit more crafty with your dribbling. And for that, you can use a change of direction. And we're going to combine this with a change of speed. Instead of isolating each one, either a change of speed or a change of direction, the best dribblers usually have a combination of both in their repertoire. So to change direction of the ball, we're going to, again, engage our defender, dribble at them, and then we're going to slightly change direction of the ball. So if I start to come on the inside here, that's going to cause the defender to move. As I start coming to the inside, they're going to try and block that path and typically put their weight on the inside. As they're moving to this direction, their momentum is going in this direction, which leaves the space on the opposite side even more vulnerable. So this can be really subtle, and we can also use our body to sell it even more to that defender that we're going in one direction. So this is where we can use a feint or a step over, whichever skill that you can do at match speed. A question I get a lot is, what are the best skills to use in a 1v1 scenario? And basically any skill on the planet is a variation of the body feint. We're just using a tool in order to unbalance the defender so then we can push the ball into the space. So you know your personality, your style of play, so you need to decide which moves you can do at match speed. For a lot of players, it's a very simple body feint. So as I push the ball to the inside, I might drop the knee, drop the shoulder. That's really going to convince that defender that I'm going on the inside here, which gives me more space on the outside. So if we're aggressive with that acceleration, we're going to create distance, which gives us way more time in order to pass, cross, or strike the ball. So let's look at it all together. A simple way you can practice it is put a cone down or work against a teammate. We're going to engage the defender with small touches, slightly change the direction, then increase the speed and change the direction of the ball to leave that defender behind. So small touches, inside, outside, accelerate, and find a finish. Always important to have end product after your 1v1s. We're using it as a tool to unlock opportunities. So there we have it, 3 tips to take your 1v1s to the next level. Just to review, first tip is engage that defender. Go directly at your opponent in order to force them to engage with you, which is going to put them in a vulnerable position. They're going to have to guess which side you're going to go. If you dribble directly into the space, you make it very easy for that defender. Second tip is change your speed. By changing your speed, you get to dictate when the race begins between you and that defender. So if you're sharp with your movements, you're always going to have an advantage. And third tip is change direction of the ball. Lure the defender to believe in you going one way to give you more space and time on the opposite side when you decide to make your move. So those are some tips. Try them out for yourself, and I guarantee you'll have a lot more success in your 1v1 duels. But I hope you enjoyed today's video and learned something new. If you did, make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button for weekly training videos, and I will see you guys in my next video.